Hey guys, welcome back to Savor the Flavor. You know, I'm glad you decided to do the porchetta first.
Ah, man, I'm telling you, it was one of my favorites, and I'm sure that you're gonna like it. I mean, I know you enjoyed it in New York. This is gonna be just as good.
All right, well, let's get started. What's the first thing we gotta do?
Okay, well, porchetta, if you remember, is a pork loin. It's gonna be wrapped in pork belly. And pork belly is nothing more like, in America, is what we make bacon out of. What we'll do here is kind of fillet it open. We're gonna wrap this.
Sure.
So I'll grab some gloves
Go ahead.
here. But there's two components here to a great porchetta. It's season it properly.
Sure.
And then, of course, cooking it properly. And what we're gonna do is, well, I'll explain that as we go. But first off, we just wanna kind of see how it's real thick on one side.
Right.
We wanna fillet it open so that we have enough to wrap around the entire.
So what we want to do is create
loin.
some sort of blanket.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. As long as you can open it up and it's going to fit around your loin. I mean, we're using the loin, which runs across the back from the shoulder to the rump. You can use a tenderloin and a much smaller piece of porchetta. All right, so we open it up just like this. The fatter parts can be pounded down. And you can use your fist. You can use a can of beans. You can use a hammer. We take our loin and just gonna go right in and we're gonna wrap it up. We're simply gonna put some salt on the inside. This is just kosher salt. On the inside of the pork belly here.
Once again, how much salt do we put on there?
Just a little. When we get down to the porchetta seasoning, you want to put quite a bit to chingos. Anywhere in between.
Sure.
So we have the porchetta seasoning is, if you smell that, the most pungent smell that's coming from there is fennel.
That's that licorice
That's right.
smell in there,
So we
right?
take fennel seeds and grind them, and then we add them with a few other different spices. Okay, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is.
Tell me.
We have fennel seed, some sage, thyme, a little rosemary,
Oh, you can smell that. That smells good.
a hint of some secret stuff, a dash of none of your business, and that's that.
Wait, I told everybody that was watching that we're gonna be able to make this at home.
They can. You can come to House Wine and buy our porchetta seasoning for the low price of $299.95 an ounce.
Done.
All right, if you drizzle this with olive oil, we can get it wrapped up.
Beautiful.
And we're gonna reach for that there.
Sure. All right. Again, medium to
Yeah, chili.
échale. What's that?
That's good.
Beautiful.
We don't need too much oil on the inside of this. You got
Just
lots of fat here, so
yeah.
I'll hold it up just a little bit. I'm gonna wrap this guy like so. We'll spin it around and tie it.
You may need more than 2 hands for this project, though.
You do. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to take my gloves off, wash my hands, I'll come back and tie this. I can't do it with gloves, it's too slippery.
All right.
All right. I tell you, if you pull off a few yards of rope there, butcher's twine, you can buy this at your grocery store.
Okay.
We'll get to tying this. Now, there's a couple different ways you can tie it. As long as it serves the purpose, it doesn't have to be pretty.
Okay.
Because mine aren't very pretty at all.
How's that?
Perfect. All right, so we'll just take this. We're going to simply tie our first knot. At one point or another. we'll
Yeah,
get it
right
done.
there. Look at that.
Okay, so if it's your first time doing a roast and you don't feel comfortable tying it the way I'm about to show, you just do that over and over again.
Okay.
Cut it here.
Sure.
Do another loop. We'll run our run the rope underneath here, like so.
Yep.
Run your string
Underneath
right back
it.
through,
Beautiful.
and then tighten that up. You don't want to pull too hard. You know, you run the risk of breaking this and starting all over again.
Yeah.
That's never fun. Just get it as tight as you can, and do it again.
Kind of repeat the process there till you get to the end.
And we're done. And of course,
Look at that.
run this all the way across the bottom here.
Get to the side.
Add that to the other side and hold
I mean,
it all
you've
together.
got pretty much enough, wrap there so to keep it all together.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hold nicely. Make one last knot,
There it is.
and if you want to cut that off, we're done.
Sure. Right there.
Okay, so the last step here is to score our fat. And you can do this beforehand, but I find it's a lot easier to wrap and to manipulate that, handle this the pork belly if you tie it first.
Just make sure not to cut the rope.
Right, now you gotta come back, make sure you don't cut the rope. And we're just gonna score. It helps if you have a sharp knife.
Uh-huh.
We'll cut this fat. And
What's that gonna do?
Well, number one, it's gonna help the fats render off a little more quickly and completely. And it just helps you get a crispier skin. So if you help me out, we'll get some salt and pepper and spread that all over the outside of this. We're not gonna put the herbs on the outside. It's just gonna go in the oven for a long time, and I don't wanna risk that burning.
Salt.
So that's a house salt, just salt and regular black pepper, and we'll go all over.
All right, here we go.
I tell you what, when you're seasoning Rigo, you wanna go nice and high so that
Nice
you
and
can spread those seasonings out.
How's that? How's that?
Perfect. And go all the way around here. Hey, how are you?
Beautiful.
We'll massage that in, because massage pig is a happy pig, and happy pig is delicious. We're ready to go. We're gonna put this little insert. You don't necessarily need it, but it's gonna release a lot of grease.
Uh-huh.
And we'll lay this in here, like so. Fits perfectly. Now, for this, we're gonna crank our oven to 500 degrees. And what you wanna do is sear the outside at that 500 degree level.
Okay.
So we'll sear it at 500 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll start to take on some nice color. Then we'll drop that temperature down to 350, and we'll go for something this size, probably 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
And this thing's gonna go, and you wanna temp it every step of the way. Normally you wanna take pork to about 145 hot. When you pull it out of the oven, temp it at 145, you let it set on the counter before you carve it, and it's gonna increase a little more. It's still gonna continue to cook. What you don't wanna do is overcook this baby.
Yeah.
So let's get it in there.
Okay, so while you put this in the oven, we're gonna throw it to a commercial break.
All right.
But before we go, we're gonna throw you off to some New York footage of us at Italy. How about that? Trying our porchetta over there. All right, so don't go away. With locations all over the world and now in New York City, Italy has been bringing quality products to people around the world. They believe that the art of good eating is not limited to the rich. It's an agricultural act we all have the right to enjoy. And we agree. Here you'll find fresh local produce, a huge variety of meats, handmade pasta, prosciutto and cheese, and the freshest variety of seafood, wine, and the list goes on and on. But of course, Larry was in the hunt for porchetta. He made a pit stop for what I believe to be bread heaven.
Soft and spongy, perfect for absorbent sauces from pasta or olive oils. This is excellent, I can't wait. Nice crunch on the outside, soft on the inside. Excellent.
Italy is truly amazing, and one can get lost here. That was the case with Jessica, who we lost for about 30 minutes. Finally, Larry led us to the porchetta, and let me tell you, it was a feast for the senses.
This is our first porchetta of the trip, and certainly not the last. This way, the wing. This just keeps getting better. It's really good. You're in New York City? Gotta make it down to Italy.
Larry was speechless for a while, and after one porchetta and an incredible prime rib sandwich, later he came up for air. Italy was quite an experience. Don't go away, we'll be right back.